now we live, let the real ones step in. Bush run the show, no script, no question. Panel in the cut, they equipped with the message. Breaking down truth from the block to the clock. In tune with the streets and the world we dissected. Sharp with the lens, bringing bold perspective for the ones overlooked. Now the lights directed, this that voice they respect. This in tune perspective.
No Future. I'm one of his biggest fans. I cannot deny that. You feel me? He always had that trap music consistency, and he keep it in a certain level.
He was on point.
He just sold his catalog. Can we find out the exact number?
72 million.
72 M's.
Big bands.
Big bands. And you know, free band gang. So my boy B-Rad was on point with that. Big bands. His big brother, not his little brother, his big brother, just got caught up on some shit. Now we're gonna let Trap Lord break it down. Then I got some interesting things to say about this shit, y'all. It's crazy, bro. Cause 70 million, your little bro got 70 M's, and you out here doing this. And this topic touches home for us. You know, with that fentanyl, we both lost loved ones.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's real. It's real in the field. And B-Rad still do fentanyl, so it's like.
I'm just too dangerous.
I'm just playing. Yeah, he better not. If I catch him,
all the fun out of everything.
If I catch him, we got a DP meeting, so he can't do no fentanyl.
Playing on the YouTube. Population in the United States over twice over. That's 340 million people.
How could you be dealing with that type of drugs, bro? That's crazy. That shit is some deadly shit.
And it's one thing if you want to use it, however you get into it, whether you just wake up one day and decide you want to go full steam, or it's a gradual thing, or you want to
kill that. Bag it up and sell it. Hey, bag it up and sell it. Go hear that song. He definitely killed that one. He got a couple joints, so I ain't gonna hold you. Casino, ex-drug dealer. I don't want to see this Trap Lord shit right now because I want to get to the facts about the case first. Hey, they just said this shit was ran out of an Airbnb.
Who's that?
Casino, ex-drug dealer.
Airbnb is not a bad idea once they got cameras in it, which most do. But it probably turns out they're friends with the person at the Airbnb.
They said this shit was ran out of an Airbnb.
I'd love to know the stupid thing they're
Tonight, federal agents say 2 men are now in custody after a suspected fentanyl distribution operation was uncovered in Forest Park. Investigators say the operation was run out of an Airbnb that a federal task force raided late last week. Agents showed reporters what they say is 21 kilos of fentanyl recovered from inside the rental home. They also displayed $380,000 in cash they say was seized, along with another $3,000 found on a man who tried to run. Officials say the arrests are part of a larger federal push to track down the sources behind the region's drug pipeline.
These drugs like fentanyl, heroin, cocaine, they poison our community, but they have second-order effects.
Tonight, federal agents say 2 men are now in custody after a suspected fentanyl distribution operation was uncovered in Forest Park. Investigators say the operation was run out of an Airbnb that a federal task force raided late last week. Agents showed reporters what they say is 21 kilos of fentanyl recovered from inside the rental home. They also displayed $380,000 in cash they say was seized, along with another $3,000 found on a man who tried to run. Officials say the arrests are part of a larger federal push to track down the sources behind the region's drug pipeline.
These drugs like fentanyl, heroin, cocaine, they poison our community, but they have second-order effects and spillover effects like addiction, like overdose, like violent crime in our community.
The suspects are Rico DeVille Bryce and David Esteban Montillo Diaz. Both are expected to go before a federal grand jury for formal charges.
Crazy. That shit is some deadly shit.
And it's one thing if you want to use it, however you get into it, whether you just wake up one day and decide you want to go full steam, or it's a gradual thing, or you want to go on medication, whatever it may be. It's one thing to use it. That's one thing. It's a whole nother story to willingly sell that shit. And then on top of that, it's a whole nother story to be selling that shit and not doing it to afford to have it. You know what I mean? If you're not addicted to that shit and you're selling it, you're a big time piece of shit in my book. Big time piece of shit. Because
Wait a minute.
You are
You calling the D boys pieces of shit?
Yeah, look, when you sell a product that, look, drugs are bad and drugs can ultimately kill you no matter what it is through many different ways. But when you are willingly selling a packet that 1 grain in it can kill someone, you have no problem with killing people.
No, but it takes your drugs and makes it stretches it out.
I'm aware.
And it makes it
I'm aware,
better.
but these guys are not fucking chemists. These guys don't use like pharmacy grade tools. You know, you got one guy who's selling cocaine, and then either him or his buddy is selling fentanyl. They mix it up on the same table, cut their bags out. Now all of a sudden, there's a bunch of bags of cocaine that got a little bit of fentanyl in it. You give it to somebody who's never had an opiate in their life, and that ends in an OD and a death.
You did it before, am I right?
Yes. Yep. I didn't have a choice because when doctors got us all hooked on opiate painkillers and then brilliantly took them all off the street immediately so you couldn't get them from doctors anymore, that turned people to go to the streets. Then the prices of the pills went up so high that fake pills started coming around, and then people started going to heroin. And then, of course, they took the heroin and they started cutting that with fentanyl to stretch it out. And next thing you know, no matter what pill or bag you got, bottom line is there was going to be fentanyl in it.
What made you? Did you know what it was when you had it?
I've been hearing about it, and then you suspect that you may have had it a few times, but you can't really tell. And once you have...
It was hot on the streets, basically.
100%. But at first, nobody really wanted it. People were trying to avoid it. They were afraid of it. But then what happens is people wind up getting it, you know, because it just works its way into their program somehow. They wind up getting it, and now it's totally changed the face of things. And then you have people actively searching for it. So now it's not getting tainted bags. You have people looking for that product specifically, knowing full well that it can absolutely kill you anytime you do it. It's outrageous. And knowing that and still being more than willing, being thrilled and happy to get it and do it, knowing it can kill you any moment. And many people out there that are active users have died multiple times from it already.
So it's almost like that movie where the dude hit the weed and he died.
Hey, pass that. What's that? That's death. That's that death. So we thought that was a joke, and we was like, yeah, right. We ain't that stupid. We not that damn dumb. We thought it was like a joke that's just movie, but now you're saying actually that's what's really going down.
It's really like that in here because this stuff changes people. Like it can change you for the long run, but it can just change the way you act. And then when you're so gripped by an addiction like that, an opiate addiction, but then one that goes even deeper with fentanyl and carfentanil and all these crazy chemicals, it's outrageous. Like the withdrawal won't kill you, but you feel like you're dying. And the sad thing is you know that there's a very cheap little way to fix it right down the block, or right in the bedroom next door to you, you know, or on the table in front of you, in your girlfriend or boyfriend's pocket, and you know that can fix all your problems. And then you'll try again tomorrow. And that's how it happens, man. It's a sinister thing. And it starts out oftentimes these days pretty innocent with an injury. That's how majority of the people I know got into it. You get hurt, you get a painkiller, then they take that shit away. But it used to be crazy. They give you crazy amounts of them. And then all of a sudden one day they're like, oh, this is bad. We have to stop.
Yeah, because it's weird. I don't even understand it. Like they use it to with cocaine and heroin and everything.
No, they're not supposed to.
Okay.
What is it? So it's an opiate, right? So you have painkillers are opiates, right?
Okay.
So you have Oxy and Roxicet and shit, Blues, 30s, Percocets. Those are all pills. That's just legal heroin. That's all that is. Then you have heroin, which is just morphine, right? Heroin's the natural version. Morphine is the medical version of heroin. Then you get fentanyl. Fentanyl is 1,000 times stronger than morphine.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So, you take a little bit of morphine and that can kill you if you don't do it right, Now you're taking something that in a hospital when someone's in a lot of pain, surgery, massive trauma, whatever, they give micrograms, not milligrams, micrograms, small amounts of fentanyl for pain.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then you have people doing a little bag of it, which is, 0.1 of a gram. How much is actually fentanyl? The rest is cut. Who knows? But you don't know. It could all wind up in one packet.
Jeez.
I mean, we've had situations where cops go to run somebody's car, and they're searching through it. They don't have a glove on. They toss something in a cup holder,
And dies.
Turns out it's fentanyl, and they die by absorbing it into their skin. They have zero tolerance, and they just got a heavy dose of it right into their skin. And it's killed people, apparently. That's the story. But it's quite possible, whether or not it's happened, which we've been told it has, but even if it didn't, it is very possible, though. It's a crazy situation. And believe me, none of these people that are on this stuff right now asked for it or wanted it. It got forced into an already existing drug that people had a problem with.
What do you mean? They didn't ask for it.
Nobody wanted fentanyl. It's what basically. I mean, it seems that China, the ones that produce the precursors to make it and ship that into Mexico. It seems that China put that on the market because we had an opiate epidemic. It's an opiate, and it's also super deadly and addictive. So if they flood that in our streets, they can kill the youth, and that's the easiest way to take out your enemy is to take out the youth.
Conspiracy alert.
Yeah, or we could call it the truth. But bottom line is no dope fiend out here in the 90s and early 2000s said, you know what? I wish they would take my favorite drug, heroin, and then fuck it up with something dangerous and something that's not going to get me as high.
My favorite drug, heroin.
And then they did. And then they
That sounds ridiculous.
Look,
my favorite drug, heroin.
I'm saying a lot of people are addicted to heroin in general.
Yeah.
But they weren't dying, 150,000 of them a year from heroin overdoses.
They were dying.
Of course they were. They wound up with illness.
There were overdoses, a lot of them.
They lose limbs. People overdose and die from all the time. But it wasn't 100,000 people a year for 10 years straight. That started happening when the fentanyl came in.
In the beginning of heroin, there's obviously more deaths because misuse.
100%.
This is the beginning of
Well,
fentanyl.
we saw a big uptick in the beginning of the in 2002, 2003, 2004 when we first went into Afghanistan. We saw a very large uptick in heroin, and that's when it got picked up. So basically, in the late 90s, early 2000s, you had the pharmacies and big pharma pushed opiate painkillers on everybody in America. Then after a few years, they saw how crazy it got, so they took them all away. So now you had a bunch of people that were fiending for opiates, but they didn't have any legal way to get them. So they turned to the streets. And then it just so happened that just in time, we went to war with a country that does nothing and exports nothing but number 4 heroin. So they grew all the poppies out there in Afghanistan, and the Marines guarded and protected them. They shipped them out, and it somehow managed to land, where do you think? In the streets of America. So they did that for a while.
Who's they?
I would have to say the CIA and the American government. Because
Same people that did crack.
Yeah, there's no foreign nations flooding our streets with heroin, not legally, not that easily. But yeah, so then all of a sudden they did that, and then everybody's really hooked up on some premium gear, all jammed up in the street now, solid.
El Chapo obviously did deal with.
Yes, but Chapo was just a means to get it here and to flood it because he had the network to do it. The reason that they had the product that they had, which turned fentanyl, it came from China. All the precursors, the chemicals they mix together to make fentanyl, come from China. They're synthesized in China, then they're shipped over to Mexico. They also sent guys from China over to Mexico to teach the cartel guys how to cook it and all that, how to mix these chemicals properly to come out with medical grade fentanyl. So all that stuff's coming out of China. And then the Mexican cartels are just useful idiots. They have routes to get into America. They have cooks that can cook there. So the Chinese take less risk. All they do is just send legal chemicals over in barrels. These guys mix it, turn it into a legal product, bring it to America, and kill off China's enemies for them, us.